Welcome to the 2350 Effect.
Not talk. Hey, thank you everyone for joining us on this end of this holiday weekend. I am Damian Kinsey, the co-host of the 2350 Effect, and I'm here and excited about this opportunity and the discussion tonight. My other co-host, want to introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tanya Farron, and I am the other co host of the 2350 Effect. Damien and I partner together to create the show and to bring amazing guests to you. So we're excited to be here tonight.
All right. And especially being excited that we have two guests on this, and it's the first time on the 2350 Effect that we actually have two guests, and it's a special occasion because they have something special to talk about in their upcoming segment. So we're gonna introduce them and bring them both up. First, I'm gonna introduce this gentleman. He is a author. He is a motivator. He is considered the godfather of audio rooms. I don't know how this man sleeps and is awake. He has so many audio rooms. He's so innovative and out there in the LinkedIn community. He does a lot of stuff. His tagline is that he can make you famous. Any old song. Welcome to the 2350 Effect. Dr. Farron, you want to introduce our next guest?
I do. I want to introduce Chiyedza. She is amazing. Chiyedza and I have met in a couple of different scenarios and have become friends and hopefully lifelong friends. I think she attended one of my parenting rooms. And then she purchased a couple of journals for her nieces that my company has created, as well as she is also a brand influencer for Ruby AI with me as well. So we have a lot of different things that we spend time talking to one another about, but she has a whole host of things on LinkedIn that she does, including being a part of the Happiness Tribe and hosting rooms on Sunday mornings and other times. And she's just an incredible person. I'm excited for everyone to really get to know her. So welcome, Chiyedza. Happy to have you here.
Thank you, Dr. Tanya. Thank you, Damien. And I'm excited for this conversation with my fellow co-author, Eny.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm excited about this conversation as well. So the 2350 Effect is all about highlighting people in our community, in our network who are doing so many amazing things and bringing people on so they can talk about what's exciting about them. So when we created this, the whole 2350, if you don't know anything about the 2350 tagline, or it's about making sure that those 10 hours, those 10 minutes of your day doesn't disrupt the other 2350 of it. So a lot of times we focus on someone cut us off in a car. We stubbed our toe. We had a bad argument with someone, and those things last about 5 to 10 minutes. And then when you ask people how their day was, they'll say that their day was bad, but they don't get to think about the other 23 hours and 50 minutes. So that's what the 2350 Effect is about. All right. And I thank both of y'all for coming and showing up for this. And the way we always start the 2350 Effect is this. We start off with laugh, call, or text. All right. So laugh, call, or text is that thing for the week that person, place, or individual or something that made you either laugh, call, or text. Dr. Farron, you want to start off laugh, call, or text?
Yes, absolutely. I just have enjoyed this weekend. So in the United States, it is, for those of you that are viewing around the world, in the United States, it is our 4th of July, our Independence Day of our country. And so there's a lot of fireworks that are going on. So we have been getting a lot of text of different fireworks displays and things like that. And those things just have been really joyful this weekend to see come across my feed, and have really enjoyed that.
Nice. My laugh, call, or text is that I reached out to people in my community, people who are friends of mine, people in my LinkedIn community who were in like Jamaica and the Dominican Republic, because there's been a big storm out there, to see how their families are doing and how those individuals doing. So that is my laugh, call, or text of the week that stood out for me. Chiyedza, you want to tell us your laugh, your call, your text for the weeks?
Okay, my laugh call text would be checking in with my mom and my sister. Both of them are always time for us to just do a lot of laughing and singing and being entertained by my sister's stories. And they're both in Zimbabwe. So that was my laugh call or text.
That's amazing. That is very cool. We're going to get into a little bit about that, about you, pretty soon. So I'm glad that. Eny, how about you?
What made me laugh this week?
Did you get, yes, either a call, a text, or a laugh?
Let's take with laugh, and I laugh every day, and I make that a point. So this week, what day is it? It's Monday, right? So that Friday night into Saturday morning, I was in a room, Noni's room. I don't see any of you lot there, right? Noni's audio room. It's called Sing Your Heart Out. Eny doesn't sing ever at all. No, I don't want to lose friends, right? So I'm like, no, I'm not singing. And they're like, but Eny, you're our special guest today. I'm like, really? So the whole hour of Eny. I'm like, oh no. So I had to call someone, wake him up from his sleep, and say, come and sing for me. Someone called Martin Sorensen. I'm like, come and sing on my behalf, please. And he said, yeah, okay. He turned up, sang, and I was so impressed. That made me laugh, though. People do great things on LinkedIn.
That is darling. That is so cute. I don't think I would have sang either, Eny. I just have news for you. I would not have been singing. No way.
You'll be amazed. Some people have amazing singing talent. Some don't. Don't get me wrong, right? I don't. Chiyedza has, clearly, right?
Yes,
some
she
people
does.
have serious talent. You can't tell who's who, right? Let me assure you. You'd be amazed. Dr. Anjan, can he sing? So you'd be amazed. Many of them can sing. I think if you can be brave enough to actually sing, hold a mic and sing to everyone, that's good enough, right? At least you're gonna do is laugh. So if I sang, I'd drive everyone out of the room. So I'm not gonna sing.
And I've seen Leslie Flowers in that room. She's on live in Noni's room, which is a good room. We have other people here. King is here. Dr. Constance sometimes goes to that room. Lisa. We have a lot of people here. Continue to drop your name, where you're from, your information, and then if you're a LinkedIn user, put a dash and put your name on it, because we don't know who you are. I am always coming up as LinkedIn user, so I use that as a dash. We are streaming live on LinkedIn and also via YouTube, so it's exciting. All right.
It really is.
So do you want to get into why we're here?
Yes. Okay. Why did we select these great people?
Yes. Besides these people being great individuals who often in audio rooms, who are teaming up with other people, we wanted to talk to them because they have something interesting going on. They actually have a book that they are launching really soon. So I'm feeling proud that we're actually the part of that, I guess, their launch tour or party, so to speak. So we wanted to talk to them, have a conversation with them about their book. Before we get into the book, first question I want to ask is, who are you? For the people out there who have never encountered you, who are you?
Chiyedza, feel free.
Oh. Okay, Chiyedza. We're originally from Zimbabwe, but currently living in the United States. I've been lucky enough to have lived and worked on 4 countries on 4 different continents. And my main passion, yes, I am currently working in the tech industry in fintech, but my main passion is to bring joy to people's lives. That's my reason for being.
Excellent.
And I'll hand it back to you.
I love that.
Okay. So I shan't waffle for the whole 5 minutes like I normally do. No, so look, I mean, much like Chiyedza, my plan, my dream, my mission is to make people to be seen and heard, right? So I use different ways. I'm lucky to be on LinkedIn. where I get to meet amazing people like all of you. And then when I meet people who do amazing things, I want to elevate them and get an audience to listen to them through audio rooms, especially. I guess the other way is through helping them write their books, publish their books, and sell their books. I truly believe writing a book is, I think it's a job of a lifetime, really. Because those books will outlive all of us. It's a great way to teach people something. We can write shorter content, but writing a book is, it's true. It's a job that everyone who's ever written a book should be celebrated. We do celebrate them. Think of those we look up to. They probably died hundreds of years ago. So I don't know why. I truly believe we should all be those people today. We have a story, we have a journey, we have a lesson, experiences that people can learn from. Let's write those books. I try and make that happen. And that's how we came across this anthology, right? So I'll leave that for now.
I think that's perfect. I think, and that's also why we wanted to bring the two of you into the 2350 effect, for the fact that, the 2350 effect is about helping people brighten their day and to find new ways to lift themselves up. To find new habits, to find new methods, to find new strategies, and to meet new people. And the audio rooms are incredible. I agree with you. And you've hosted some really incredible rooms. And so has Chiyedza. She has had some really incredible rooms and spaces for people to bring them joy. And that's, again, part of the 2350 effect that we want to do. So we're excited to have you here. The thing I love is, we're all from different parts of the world. And I think that is so cool. Damien's on the East Coast. I'm in the Midwest. Chiyedza's in the Midwest, has lived in multiple other countries. You're in the UK.
I'm in the UK, yeah, via Nigeria.
Yes. You're in the UK. And so it's just amazing, isn't it? I think it's awesome. Like, to me, like, this has been like some of the most fun times in my life, is the people that I have been able to meet through LinkedIn and through these rooms and these spaces and be able to connect together. So I just love having you guys on here. I think it's great.
Pleasure to be here.
So thank you both for coming here. And the reason why you're here is because you have an interesting book and an interesting topic and an interesting perspective. Lessons learned with a T from COVID-19. Tell us about this book, because I believe there's 8 different individuals who collaborated together to create this book.
I'll leave it to you, Eny, since you came up with it.
I had a feeling. Look, it's a simple one, I guess. Like I said, I like to give people a voice to share their stories and experiences. And I want to be an author, so I could have written books myself. My business partner is an author herself. And so we could have written about COVID, a thing, an event that affected humanity like nothing else. So I guess rather than write our 2 stories, maybe at most, we thought let's find a way to give other people a chance to be heard, to tell their stories. I said having a group of 8 authors, it's an excellent way to give people a rounded view of the pandemic and the effect of the pandemic on ordinary people. Because people will ask eventually, right? For us, for many people around now who went through it might just seem like it's not a thing. Well, history, people will ask what happened during COVID, and they want to know from ordinary people. That's pretty much what drove this book. So ordinary people being the amazing authors that we have who agreed to take part and tell their stories. And like I say, I've read everyone's story, so I know, it is really a great mix of experiences, insights, and some are harrowing, sometimes some of the authors are funny, but ultimately we're talking about a very important period in humanity, which nearly broke all of us, but still we survived, right? We didn't just survive, we're thriving. And how did we make that journey, that transition? That's what the book's really all about. So that's what I guess. I say, having my wonderful friends involved, it gives us something that we can't do by ourselves, and it satisfies my mission to elevate other people. Not that Chasing is elevating because she's already two-time international best-selling author as it is, right? But no, her stories of resilience, they're remarkable. Yeah, and if you haven't read her stories in her books, the rest of the Wake books, for example, you're missing something. It's a joy.
Thank you for saying that, Annie, because you kind of did the work for me, because I was actually going to ask her that question. So she's a two-time best international selling co-author. Why this project?
For me?
Yes, why?
Okay.
Since
Why
you
this
already
project?
written, you already have 2 international bestsellers. Why this particular topic?
I love collaboration, and it's Papa Eni. He's no. Okay, let me put it this way. The reason why I even got into the collaborations seriously was because I started attending Eni's audio rooms and Angelica's audio rooms about a year ago. So if I hadn't been in that community, and here's the funny thing, you may find this strange. For the first 2 months of audio rooms, I never came up on stage. All I did was DM people about what they said, because I'm more of a one-on-one, let's have a virtual coffee, let's have human conversations. So the the reason why I ended up in being in the first 2 anthologies with Lonnie Ray was because of that one conversation. There's a lot of laughing, a lot of crying, and just getting to know each other, what's really on our hearts, what is it that we really want to share with the world, let alone even just tell our own stories. And so as I was doing that with Lonnie, when Eny and Dr. Ava invited me to be part of the anthology, I was like, I'm in. It was even a no-brainer. But what also excites me about this is in learning, yes, it's wonderful to sell our messages, but also putting on my entrepreneurship hat, because I'm a daughter of entrepreneurs. I've always been wanting to learn how to figure out the business side of it. I've heard, and being around so many entrepreneurs in all these audio rooms of how do you take it into speaking career, or how do you even get yourself published? I've been listening a lot to the book to business audio rooms that Eny and Dr. Ava were hosting. And so being always hungry to learn, but also find ways to actually practice it, is another reason why I decided that I wanted to learn from the feet of people who actually do it on a daily basis. So yes, it's great in collaboration, because I'm not the only person that I have to think about, like, oh, my only one network. I love that we have at least 8 different networks that can leverage and support each other. And yet also on the business side, I'm looking forward to the journey of the next year of working directly with Eny and Dr. Ava as well.
Okay, I think as Chiyedza says, there's a lot more that we're trying to do with this particular project. Yeah, I speak not about other people's anthologies, but I guess we are kind of committed to use this to elevate our friends, really, our authors. As Chiyedza says, we'll do this book to business. We truly believe that your book can be turned into a business. Your book is the best business card ever, because it gives people a real insight into who you are and what you really think. So part of what we work with our authors to do is design a business in the back of the chapter. And I dare say also, we are very committed to working with authors to share the royalties. Most anthologies are written, and I think they say thanks very much, great book. Now you're best an author. Tata, off you go, right? Whereas now we're involved in our friends for a whole year at least in living this book. Living this book by doing more events, by doing marketing events together. And so they're creating a business in the back of this a service. And they're creating a shared platform. Our website being a place where we can showcase each other and showcase what everyone's doing. So there's more. The business side is an important side for us as a differentiator, and also a benefit for everyone who's involved.
Absolutely. I have written my fair share of books as well. And there's a whole business side to it that comes along with it. I do agree. And I think, it's wise, wise words, Chiyedza, to say, I want to learn alongside, these people. So tell us about the other people. You have 6 other people that are authoring this book. Damien and I, as we were sitting here discussing the questions we wanted to ask you, I mean, we have a list because we were like, well, what about this? Well, who is this? And well, what about that? And so, so tell us, like, you picked 6 other people to collaborate on this book with you. I have a couple questions here. Why did you, like, who are they? So Damien might want to flip that image back up. Who are they? And, why were these other 6 people selected? And then I want to talk to you about the book process. So tell us those answers.
Chiyedza, you feel free. I'll let you describe some of them as you see fit. It will be recorded, by the way, so I'm not saying, yeah.
Okay, sure. Let me put it this way, because Eddie, you're the one who brought it together. But okay, as my friend.
I agree with you, yes, because I've heard
celebrating.
about this for a while too.
Yes.
I agree with you. Second.
So I'm talking in terms of celebrating because I wrote reviews for all of them, so I know them a little bit. So there's Dr. Ava Eagle Brown, who is an international speaker. She's also turned her books into business. She just recently implemented a fantastic project, the Black River Film Festival in Jamaica, which is the first one ever done in Jamaica. And it was also a huge impact in terms of that place called Black River is a historical context in Jamaica where the trades and the colonial trades of wood was coming out of Jamaica. So that town had kind of died down. So in a way, it was a way to reignite that community, reignite the commerce and economics around that as well as sourcing local talent. So I could go on about Dr. Ava, but okay, let me go into the next people. so then there's Dr. Marcia Thomas, who specializes in more leadership and in the work that she does in her community. She's also from Jamaica, if I'm not mistaken. And so with hi, Dr. Marcia. and so with Dr. Marcia, and learning her stories of what touched me the most was her telling the stories of, being displaced from family during the whole COVID experience, and also how she tapped into her own leadership style, her sense of resilience and sense of being able to help people overcome different obstacles and challenges that they had. And then I will go to Nancy. Nancy, I know more as well through the Happiness Tribe and other forums. And Nancy, I call her a warrior queen because she has taken on the Canadian and the global judiciary systems to really address a lot of colonial and institutional practices that continue genocide of in Native communities. And also she is really lobbying not only for Canada, but for Indigenous communities around the world, all the way up to the UN courts. So she has a powerful message of advocacy, of reverence for humanity. Then there's Professor Roxanne. Professor Roxanne, she's a math teacher. I know by trade. She's originally from Nigeria. Hi, Professor Roxana. And so she's been in the US for the past 27 years. And her story was more of her dealing with the different aspects of life before, during, and after COVID. And the impact of what that happened in her family, in terms of the family context, and also in her professional settings, and being able to relay those stories so beautifully. Who's another one? Okay. And then there's Miss Tolu. Yes, my sister Tolu Ekwe. So Tolu is in Nigeria, in Abuja. And so her story is of her experiences working in the medical field during COVID as a pharmacist. And so the challenges of that, the inability of the lack of resources, the disparities of resources, dealing with a lot of deaths and things like that, like a lot of communities did, and her story of finding her way of shining a light on what to value the most, which is humanity. How can we build each other as human beings? And then who have I left out? Is it Miss Audrey?
Yeah, Miss Audrey Josephs.
Okay, so Miss Audrey Joseph, I know her from Sister Hold My Hand with Dr. Ava. So Miss Audrey Joseph, I know her more as a coach, and she's phenomenal in her how she creates safe spaces for people to share their stories and be of great support, but also guiding them to be themselves, best selves, and find that inner resilience, that inner personal agency to be able to find not only lock arms with people around you, but also find ways to move through the challenges and obstacles that we face on a daily basis. And then, of course, my brother Eny. He's already introduced himself. So,
Wow.
how did I do, Eny?
Wow. I'm just going to say, wow, you
That
did
is
great.
brilliant. I couldn't have done that. You're great, Chiyedza, seriously.
Thank you.
Look, I think for me, the joy was meeting people who were keen to tell their stories. It's we had an agenda which was not just to dwell on the dark side of COVID. He wants to write an uplifting book for people who, who didn't just survive COVID, bitter and twisted. And I said people who saw through the pandemic, learned something, and want to share something with the world. The first one that said yes was you, Chiyedza. Because you are that person, right? You are that sister who always says, "Yeah." If opportunity comes by, and Chiyedza always says yes. I remember at the time you weren't a best-selling author. We had dreams, Chiyedza. We talked, and we're like, we want to write a book. We want to be authors because they can really help us. And so that from one conversation, when the opportunity came, Chiyedza jumped at it and jumped on all the other ones too, right? So that's how we got this far. Saying I love. I didn't realize I was on the man. By the way, it didn't quite dawn on them until at the very end. That's what it looked. I thought, how's that happened? So, but it's the way.
Like all these women.
It's the way it is. But I say they're powerful women. They got powerful stories. And they're committed to helping people to learn something, and I guess live better lives. Despite COVID. That's what moves us all. It's a blessing to work with all of you, Chiyedza.
I love it. You do have some powerful women and individuals. You're a powerful person yourself. Definitely with your messaging, and everyone who's in this book is about empowering other people and individuals, and in their own unique way, and they stand out as individuals. Um, this title is, speaking of standing out, lessons we learned from COVID-19. Why the T?
Yeah, isn't it? I guess ED is one version of you say, right?
Yeah.
NED, right? Learned or learnt. The English tend to say learnt.
Okay.
There's some words that we don't, between America and the rest of the world and the UK. There's some words that just don't work for us and would work for you, right? This whole thing about S and Z, for example, moisturize. We don't understand why you have a Z. We don't get it. So we just there's different kind of English in England. That's what I would say to you, right? What's the other one? You owe you something, right? Honor, color. Again, you got your way of writing it. We think you write it. We think you write it badly. So we want a U in there somewhere because we just think it should be there. There's an English way of doing what we do, right? Now, learned, it's the same word, right? It's the same word. Maybe it looks cuter, sort of graphically. It looks, it fits nicely. ED just gives extra letters, which is extra letters, right?
Got it.
So you can.
I thought you was using it to stand out. So when you do
Nah.
the Google search, most people have ED, and the T is the standout. So it's kind of like organization with an S or Z.
Yes.
That's the equivalent of it. Okay, got it. You definitely learn something new every day, and you don't learn unless you ask questions. So this is all right, got it. Cool. I appreciate you explaining that. So do not put an ED, you will not find it. Make sure you put the T.
That was
And ED would work, them, if you choose to. Are you with me? No, but no, if
No,
you're
when I
stuck,
put ED in, it starts bringing up so many other things.
yeah.
So when you put the T in, it stands out. So like keep the T, like yes, and that's a good tool. Like I know you're into marketing, you're into making people stand out, and I think it's important that people know that when you are writing your book, you need to make sure you do your research and actually stand out and put it in a way where people can actually get to it. You don't want to have this amazing book that nobody can get to. It's like you said, you have these authors who have been gone for like hundreds of years, like Shakespeare, but their books are still living on. And these lessons is kind of like a lessons learned from COVID-19 is actually a time capsule of where you were, what was going on, and everyone was going on because everyone who's in this actual book, they're all in different places, different spaces, and it's a global book. I know you're part of global media. It's an actual global book, so it's good to actually read what has went on with different people because we get in our lens and our bubble of things, and we see it from our perspective. And it's always good to see it from other people's point of view. And thank you for sharing this as well.
I will say, of course, whenever you're writing a title, like you
Eny has been hit with the audio drop. He'll be back soon, but
so
at that point, that's a great point to segue into our we have a few upcoming things, and we'll bring Eny back up shortly. Dr. Farron, do you want to talk about the work life balance summit?
Yes, absolutely. Yes. So October 4th and 5th, Damien and I are both co-hosting the Work-Life Balance Summit. It is a 2-day virtual event. Okay. So you're at home, drinking your coffee, having some snacks, sipping a soda, in your pajamas, loungewear, and you're learning from 26 amazing presenters who are talking on different topics like self-care, balancing social media and your life, leadership skills and strategies and how to balance your work and your life with that, career tips, just a whole host of things, health and fitness, entrepreneurship. Like there's so many different things that we have in here to help you balance your work and your life. So tickets are on sale right now. If you scan that QR code, you can go and get the tickets. Early bird tickets are on sale right now. So check that out. I encourage you to scan that so you can take a look at it. We're starting to add in the presenters slowly to this. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks, you'll see all the presenters and all the session topics. So make sure you grab your early bird ticket. So join us October 4th and 5th.
Yeah, thank you for that as well. And then the last thing that we have,
and then from the Virtual Wellness Summit that we did in March, we have the Helpful Living magazine. So please, you can also go to creativelivingIdeas.com. I will drop that, my website into the chat section, the comment section, and you can grab a copy of this. The Helpful Living magazine was 16 different presenters that presented at the Virtual Wellness Summit, and their wellness tips they had, what their presentation was about, who the artist was on the cover. So Jamie Rockymore Best, she owns this magazine, the Helpful Living magazine, but this is the Creative Living Ideas edition. That is my company. My company is Creative Living Ideas, and they promote and help guide the Virtual Wellness Summit, the Work-Life Balance Summit, and some of the other things that Damien and I are collaborating together on. So that's why it says Creative Living Ideas. So yeah, grab your copy of that. You can get a digital copy or a hard paperback copy of that.
cool.
We also, I'm just going to drop a little bit. You're going to be hearing from Damien and I in the next couple of weeks about the 2350 network. And so we do have a network of people that we have that we're already starting. So, that is coming soon too. So make sure that you stay tuned with us on Sundays. We host the 2350 Effect on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern time, and whatever time it is in the UK. That's when we're hosting it also right now. Whatever time. What time is it, Eny? Is it coffee time yet or middle of sleep time?
it's Monday for him.
It's Monday.
Middle of sleep time. No, It's the middle of sleep time means nothing to me. 1:34 a.m.
You're just the man. You're the man.
It's early. It's very early. Now, 6 a.m.
He's on EST
I
time.
start worrying. I need to go to sleep sometime. Otherwise, I might get tired during the day. Otherwise, no, it's early. I know in the US, some people are still 5 o'clock in the evening, right?
Yes. Yes.
So,
On the Pacific. Yes.
I had a meeting this morning at 5:30 my time. Someone in the US. So going towards midnight their time, all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, yeah, if you want to meet now, why not? Why not? Yeah. And then I went to sleep after that. So it's fun. Look, like I was saying about the title thing, I think it always helps to look around and see what others are doing and then try and have a twist. Also try to keep it short. The shorter your title for your book, the better for everyone. Yes, it sounds silly, it sounds simple, but it does work.
So I want to ask another question about that. So I have written a memoir with my mom and my brother. So that was 3 people, and it was a little like herding cats, just a little bit. So what was it like with 8 different people, and how did you collaborate on this together? With 8 different people. Who was the organizer of this whole thing? How does it work?
So we were the organizer. We being Dr. Ava and I.
Okay.
But then look, it helps to have, let's say, a group of people who are committed to the project.
How long have you guys been working on this project?
I say, it was going nearly a year now, right?
Okay.
No, maybe longer. I heard about this project for a long time. It was Dr. Ava and Nancy, the only people I heard of in this project. It was a long time ago.
We're trying to get it done by Christmas, right? That was our aim. But the first content wasn't written until about this time last year. By someone like Chiyedza or Nancy. I think that they were first 2 in. But saying we didn't have to do too much chasing because all the people we have on the team, they're amazing. But
that's
to write,
awesome.
but the herding the cat bits, the hard part of anthology that no one sees is the editing part, right?
Yes, exactly.
Because everything that involves editing, because everything you do, when you have content, you have to make sense of it first of all, right? And then put it out to all the authors and say, right, is this what you intended? And so each time you have to go out just to eight people. It takes 8 times as long as one person. If it's your book, you get on with it, right? There's 8 people, and it takes 8 times as long. And everyone played ball at best of times. But then the thing again, maybe the reality when something goes on over time is that people's lives change from when they wrote their content to the next time they see the content, right? So the temptation is always to add something, change it. Except when you do that, in a book sense, it's a disaster because now we have to go back to editing again because now you've changed something fundamental in the content. We have to go and have it edited again, and then we'll go through the whole process again. There was a period when where it literally proof your content, please, and then give it back. And someone would change something drastic, and then we'll go back again and proof your content, give it back, and then they change something else. It's like, stop doing it, stop doing it. In the end, I had to start shouting and saying, or shouting in DMs, stop doing it. No more changes. No, but
yes, it is true. You can over edit sometimes. I think I think you can over analyze, over edit things sometimes. Eny, I am right there with you. I agree. Thank you for sharing.
But the flip side is having a team to go forward with from here on in, right?
Yeah,
having a team to do the marketing with, for example. And if it's your book, you kind of have to do all the work. Whereas having 8 of us means we have 8 marketers at least. That might sound like a small thing, but it's a huge thing. Marketing, because book marketing that's where everything really works. You get that right, you're away. Don't get that right, you're stuck, right? So I have 8 email lists to work with, which is good. For as a marketer, I can work with doing an email list, right? Yes. I have 8 audio room co-hosts to work with. 8 different sets of connections to invite. That's when it gets good. So long may that continue.
So speaking of that, like you have 8 different people, 8 different marketing, and you have a big community on this project. So if I just went and like went through the pages and went on Enny's chapter and Chiyedza's chapter, what is that one thing that would stand out to the person reading it to that you want them to leave with from your particular chapter in the book? Like that one thing that you can share.
Go on, Chiyedza.
Mine, it started from childhood. And the main thing was you have the power to create the environment that feeds you, that nurtures you, that you can build with people. And all on the preface of what we call in an African country, Southern Africa, Ubuntu. Basically, in having that empathy of I am because you are. Your happiness is conditional on my happiness in a way because we live in community. So if somebody's hurting, everybody's hurting. So that's what I learned by the time I was 2.5 years old. And at that time, I learned how to co-lead an army of infuriated toddlers against bullies. But that's all I'll say for now. But that's what I'd like them to take away.
It's a different question, maybe, Damien, right? I think what people would take away, I guess it's up to them, right? When I read Chase's chapter, I could just see, mini Chase running around at 3 years old, chasing bigger kids and beating them up, and that's literally what we have. Right? An army of angry kids taking their revenge on the bigger kids, and that's part of the story, right, Chiyedza? You take away
It's part of the story, but it's standing up for humanity. Believe me, I'm not an advocate for violence, but at that point in history, 1980, that was the language that those bullies would understand. But more so was convincing all of our crew of toddlers that nobody should be treated that way, no matter what your skin. So that's, but anyway, but for me, the main thing is personal agency to create the life that you want to live. That's my, but then again, as Eny said, people will take away whatever they want to take away from whatever touches them most.
Yeah, that's it. Like for me, now from my chapter, I think it's probably the things that people don't know about you. That's what I find so fascinating about books, right? Yes, it's a story about the pandemic, but the Chiyedza and I came at it from the angle of childhood to where we are now. People on LinkedIn, our friends online, maybe our friends even in real life don't really know that much about us unless we tell them. So I think for every one of us, you'll find something out about our past that will make you go, wow. So for me, again, there's always a story, but I don't tend to live that story every day. I was in a room last night and they were like, come and talk about your childhood traumas. I'm like, no, I'm 49. If I haven't sorted it by now, I'm never going to sort it, right? I'm not going to let it go because I've dealt with it. It's gone, right? So then in the book, you tend to give context. You tend to give some more information that people would normally expect to know about any of us. That's probably what people will go away with. Again, I won't tell you what you're going to find out because there's a lot to find out in that angle. But
so
that's the beauty.
I have a follow-up question. Since we talked about Chiyedza, what did young Eny wanted to be when he was growing up? Who did you want to be?
Is that in there? No, that's not in there. Okay, no, I wanted to be a doctor. Okay. Of course. I grew up in Nigeria. Africans only have a certain few professions that you can do, right? Doctor, lawyer, engineer. That's it. If you're not one of those, my friends, you don't exist. You're a failure. Your parents are looking around going, I don't know what happened to that child. I'm so hurt. Anyway, I tried to be a doctor, and maths was hard. Maths, maths is one of those things. If you get it, you don't get it. I know I didn't get it. I had to work hard at it, right? I worked very hard. A levels in the UK, so you get GCSE A levels to get into, uni, and I sat in the exam. I sat in the maths exam, I revise. I revise every day. I practice. I revise. I live by myself in Bedford land. That's part of the story you find in the book, right? So I worked hard. I got to the exam, opened the exam. I didn't understand a single question. I couldn't get the question. I couldn't get the question. I couldn't answer a question I don't understand. So I sat there for an hour and a half, and I was like, damn. I think I was writing football songs instead. Which I realized the dream was dead. And the dream died there and then. I just thought, I don't get it. I can't keep doing this, right? Then no, look, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad at all. So then, as I was writing my football songs, I realized I want to be a doctor. Really? Why? I don't like needles. Needles make me feel faint. I don't like blood. No, I could literally just faint. I don't like bodily fluids. So maybe being a doctor wasn't such a wise move, right? Let me find what do I really want to do. I resolved there and then to become a psychologist because I like sociology. I like psychology, and that's where I went. I literally left the exam, signed up for the psychology course, got psychology degree, psychology masters, and here we are using psychology and marketing. So that's the story.
And ironically, you have a book that is talking about COVID-19, which has the number 19, which is math, and it's medical in their experience. Full circle moment.
Yeah, no, again, it's a weird thing. This thing called life, right? You can get premonitions are mainly. You mentioned earlier, Damien, that we'll have a global audience. So again, I was thinking the other day. See, my company's name is Small Business E-Marketing. That's my company that I started off with, right? You see, my logo is a phoenix. That's why you got this thing behind me, which amazingly drew is a phoenix, right? Because one day it dawned on me, you can talk yourself into a situation very often without even realizing it. So every day I was talking to myself. I took myself into small business e-marketing, and then not knowing why I couldn't get bigger clients. With that thinking, I said, all right. From now on, I'm going to record global.media. Global Media was already taken by this big brand called Global Media, right? So I couldn't have the original brand. So I had to have global.media. Well, essentially, it was totally flipped from small business to a global brand, right? And I managed to live that global brand every day since. I did not know when I changed the brand name in 2017. I'll be here now doing this. I really didn't. I had no clue, right? But literally, I think changing the name changes the mindset, which ultimately gets you, it changes everything around you. That's the point, right? And again, our stories in the book, it is about mindsets half the time. Most of us have had to change our minds of how we see life, how we see things, to become the people that we are today. It's a lot of the seeds were planted years ago. I try and explain to people your mindset is where it's at, really. I'm lucky I got away with it. I still get away with it, right? Things fall into place amazingly. Yeah.
So as we get ready to have Chiyedza answer, herself as a young girl, what did she want to be? I'm wondering if our people in the audience, and I thank you so much for those of you that are here and listening and watching us today, would you drop in the chat a lesson that you learned during COVID? I would love to hear your lesson. What did you learn during the COVID-19 pandemic? While Chiyedza, would you tell us, what did young little Chiyedza want to be when she grew up?
When I was 5 years old, I starred as the fairy godmother for Cinderella. And I've even got a little picture of it. My sister found these old pictures from my grandmother of me as the fairy godmother. And the last couple of months, even when I got laid off last year, and I was really looking at who is Chiyedza, because my mother would always ask us this question when we were growing up. Who are you? Who do you want to become? And I realized at 5 years old that I'm my own fairy godmother. I can actually create the life that I want by doing the best I can to engage in everything and find a way to make things happen. So that's the way I've always been, why I've been so open to networking and developing friendships with all these sorts of people, all sorts of different backgrounds. Even when I was in nursery school, all the way up until now, I've been the same way. And I also get that way of being from my parents who are entrepreneurs, because they always valued treating their customers like royalty. So even to this day, when we're talking about branding, my mother is my brand of how you treat humanity. She's 81 and she still has people running up to her who she served 30, 40 years ago, like their long lost mother. So the way that I am as Chiyedza, though I grew up, yes, with the pressure of Zimbabwe as well, African countries, yes, be the doctor, be the lawyer, be the accountant. And I even thought, okay, be practical. Let me try and be an accountant like my big brother, my oldest brother, who was 11 years older than me. He's late now, but he was the first accountant, oldest in the family, practical, right? And then I realized, in being the inquisitive person I was, I got opportunities to go and study and live abroad. So I finished high school in Hong Kong, China. My world was literally living with the world. So the possibilities of what I could become became even greater, right? So my mother still wanted that PhD. We need a doctor in the house, because I was the first one to finish degrees. I got a master's. But I felt the more educated I got, the more less relevant I became. But anyway, I'll pause there. In terms of Chiyedza, as a 5-year-old, thought she can be anything that she wanted to be. And she's still figuring it out.
I love that. That's beautiful. Damien, well, what did 5-year-old Damien want to be?
I wanted to play sports. I wanted to play football as a kid growing up. And then I eventually wanted to I wanted to play football, then be a doctor or a lawyer or a teacher. So I always wanted to eventually be like a college professor. That's something I always wanted to do in my life. So it kind of segued into that. And that's something that, down the road I still want to explore. Teaching in the school, which kind of made me. Can I ask another question, because it kind of popped in my head based on that?
Sure. Your show, go on.
So, like this particular book, if I had to drop this off at a college or university, what department would benefit the most from this book, and where would it land at? Is it communication? Is it psychology? Is it medical? Is it literary? Where would the best bang for your buck for audience be if I dropped this book off in the library and someone had to put this on their syllabus?
Wow. Okay. I guess I tend to have to deal with the categories. So on the bookstore. So I think long and hard about this question, Damien. It fits in many different departments. Really, that's the truth, right? Of course, when you talk about illnesses and illness and death, you have to put it in science somewhere, in biology somewhere, right? I think that when you talk about inspiration and mindset and overcoming, that you have to look at what we call in England PHSC, so almost life skills type department. Where else can I put it? Psychology, of course. I think overcoming challenges, again, the mindset conversation might put it, somewhere where there is believing in yourself and finding a way forward. It can be many places. Maybe if you want to do the science of COVID, you might even look at chemistry. But essentially, that's biology, psychology, and personal development is where I'll put the book. Really, that's my thoughts. What do you think, Chiyedza?
I would add health and wellness, because I know certain university campuses have wellness centers. But then again, it's usually tied to the psychology or psychiatrists. Because when I was in college, we had a wellness center, but we also had psychiatrists that we had on staff. So that's what came to me. Yeah, but I agree with the other one. So.
Global historical storytelling.
No, history.
Which university has that department? I wish I
just made it up. It's global history storytelling.
I think history will definitely work, right? History is a category I'll put this in because I think now this will transcend time. Because people will look back on this moment, and so in that sense, it could definitely be a history book in a way. But hell, all you can do is write it in a book as best you can, and let people find the meanings in the book, right? What they say it is that matters in the end, not what we say it is, right? Uh, we try. Yeah. Who's LinkedIn user? I'd love to know who LinkedIn user is.
I guess we'll find out afterwards.
Also, Lachelle said that taking a mental health day off is important to my overall health. So that's one of the lessons she learned.
Thank
Or
you.
learned.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's true.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good one. Again, storytelling, of course. And again, that's another one that definitely fits into. But everyone's got different ways to telling the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Chiyedza and I are just wordy. Like we're wording, and we like to paint pictures through telling our stories, and storytellers that we're probably used to. So some people are more. Nancy, for example, is a lot more technical. And she tells a story, but in between, she's throwing facts in between research, court papers, and all sorts into the conversation. Which I think is beautiful. I think it's really beautiful. It's certainly deep. But there's a different way to tell the story, and it all works together.
So while we wrap this up in the next few minutes here, as we're almost approaching the hour, so tell us about what do the next few weeks look like for you all with your book launch? Like, what are some of the things that you're doing to promote your book so that if other people want to come out and follow you or hear what rooms are you in talking about? What are you doing? Give us this next few weeks, and when is this book being launched and ready to purchase?
And they look at me again. I refuse to be tied down to a date. I don't know. My dilemma is building enough, an audience enough to maximize the launch event, which we're close to. I can launch a book next week if I wanted to. But I was like, it's not. But I want us to, build that awareness of people in a way that everything will flow. Now, launching a book is just the beginning of the process. Dr. Talia, as you well know, right? It's what happens afterwards. Part of me is thinking, don't launch a book, release the book, but don't launch it. Which sounds counterproductive, but in book marketing is, it often keeps the energy going until you actually do set a launch date.
I didn't have a book launch until about a year after three of my books were released.
Exactly.
And so I guess really what our question is more asking, I guess, let me reframe the question. What are you all doing to kind of promote your book in the next few weeks? What are some of the things that people want to come and join and listen in and hear more about it so that they know when they're ready to purchase the book, when they can get it?
No, the audio rooms are my thing. So, of course, I got us doing the audio rooms. And I said, we'll do a room every Sunday. So, we had one this evening where you get to meet the authors. So we're doing a few of those in the weeks coming up. I would love everyone to give us the email address to join our mailing list because that's another great tool to have. The mailing list is the best place to keep in touch with people and give them links to resources to the book, to buy a book link when the time is right and all that, right? So up until the launch, you're gonna do more events, more podcasts, more guest appearances like this, and then after that, we're gonna, part of our offering to our beloved authors is their own audio events. Everyone's gonna do their own audio rooms, which obviously, and there's also gonna be a one book event, every month, at least. we're working towards some marathon events.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to those. Doing audio rooms for 12 hours non-stop. Yay. Maybe 24 hours. My friends
You
would
do a
love.
lot of audio rooms. You're going to be good at that.
Yeah,
You're
we're
going to
gonna
be
do.
great at that.
We're gonna do more. So I want to see how you can do it. Making it never end. Who's gonna come in? That Clubhouse has those rooms that run on forever.
Yes,
Can
yes.
it be done on LinkedIn?
I
Let's
don't
test
know.
it.
You're going
Let's
to find
test it.
out.
Exactly.
I love that.
So there's many things that we're doing with our friends. Of course, the business that they all build, that we all build on the back of the book, that needs to be marketed as well. So there's a whole lot of community building, was the way I see it, around each of us, around all of us. If you can support the events we're doing, my friends, we appreciate that. Of course, and a part of the businesses will be services, right? So if we can help you on the back of what we create, then please don't hesitate to reach out for help. Chiyedza, how do you see it?
Well, I'm following the leader. My brother Eddie, that's why I'm at your feet. I'm following your direction.
No one knows. I'm quite a shy person, really. I'm a quiet driver at the back.
Bless his heart.
But they put me in front every so often. I kind of blush.
Well, you are a very powerful backstage person, if anything.
You're far too. Stop it. You're too sweet. Stop it.
So, and what I'm looking forward to is, yes, all the itinerary that Eny has said. And so people can find us on LinkedIn. We will definitely be letting people know when events are happening. So it's easy to find us that way. So we'll alert people, and probably people might even get in individual invitations. And I'm just looking forward to engaging the events and also just seeing how this unfolds as we not only learn and support and leverage each other, but who knows what collaborations can come out of it, because you don't know what you don't know until you have the conversations. So that's what I'm also even more intrigued and interested in participating in.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to do the quote? All right. So we always end with the quote. All right. So closing quote. So Dr. Farron, you want to kind of explain to them what the segment's about?
So we have, so we always pick a quote, or if it's a quote that you live by, your favorite quote, something like that, something that maybe pertains to today's event, and you can share out your favorite quote. So I'll give you a minute or two. Damien and I will give ours while you're thinking of it. Maybe you have to type it in and figure it out again, remember it exactly. But I'm going to go with mine, since this is about, the story is the lessons we learned from COVID-19. My favorite quote is from Gandhi. I've been living this in my life for probably the last 20 years, is to be the change you wish to see in this world. And so I think that is perfect and fitting for this topic tonight. Again, it is something that I have aspired to do myself. If I want more good in this world, then I'm going to continue to work forward to put more good into this world. Again, with my partner here, the 2350 Effect, excited to do that and spread more joy and happiness and good things into our world. So be the change. Damien.
Hey, I'm just gonna go with the reason for the 2350 Effect. Do not let 10 minutes disrupt the other 2350 of your day. There's so much life to live out there, and don't let frustration consume you.
I love that. That's perfect for today. Chiyedza, are you ready?
Mine's an African proverb that has become one of my favorites. If you ever feel that you're too small to make a change, try to spend the night with a mosquito. So that's where it comes from for me, that you're never too small to have a positive impact on the world, let alone even in your own personal community.
I love that. Let's all put that in pictures. Everyone put theirs in the comment section. Eny, what's yours?
It's in the book, Chiyedza, right?
Yes, it is. That's how I introduced my little 2.5-year-old Chiyedza.
No. I guess mine is always the same. Dare to dream, dare to do.
I love
That's
that.
the way I tend to want to live, and it's why I encourage everyone to be, because again, I truly believe our time is now, and we are infinitely gifted. A lot of people don't want to believe that. They want to believe that those gifts are for other people to do, to have. But I truly think that we can set our minds to anything and achieve greatness. That's probably what drives everything I do, really. In marketing, audio rooms, in the books. That's the thing. But of course, you can't just dream. Dream is, how big do you want to dream? It means nothing if you don't actually take action, actually do, right. So the best people don't say about me is me badgering my clients, my friends, to create genius, create genius. People want to create genius. Are like, why me? I'm like, because you really can. Now's our time. Dare to dream, dare to do. And those who do achieve. No, again, that's not say. I don't know. I always go back to when Jay's and I met. We're sitting there thinking, what are we going to do? She's telling me I haven't got a job. I'm like, I could use your help. And then the next time I saw her, it's a 2-time international best-selling author already. I'm like, wow, that's how you do it, right? That's how you truly do it. I'm actually going to be number 3 and number 4 before the month is out. It's an amazing thing. But no. Of course, you two are a perfect example of my philosophy as well. Damien, you're a star. I tell everyone you're a star every time I see you. And I can see, imagine your background going, and stop it. But no, you are a true inspiration. I love how you come to live streams as well. And I say, of course, audio is where we met. And Dr. Tanya as well. I love your summits. Again, it's next level, right? Why keep doing the same thing when you can do bigger, impact people more? So you two are a perfect example of what is possible.
Thank you.
Well done, you. And thanks for giving us a chance as well.
Thank you.
Well, folks, he's dropped the mic, but lessons we learned from COVID. The book is almost out there. And he's back. He'll give us a launch day soon. Please connect with Eny, connect with Chiyedza. Drop your information in, click on there. There's a feature part with their pictures on it. And you can also connect with them and also the other authors and get the book. Dr. Farron, Eny, sorry, you had your last thought? Sorry.
Yeah, it's not you. The StreamYard keeps kicking me out randomly, but I'll survive. Look, like I said, I was just thanking you for giving us a chance to be seen, to be heard, to talk about our book. So we love the experience, and we love every chance we get to tell more people about the book that we've written, which is our dream come true. And we hope it definitely helps people, right?
Excellent. Well, we were delighted to have you all on the 2350 Effect. We know that the work that you do every day is really impactful to other people. I really wish you well on your book. Hope it's a huge success, that it's a national or international bestseller over and over and over and over again. And
Thank you so much, Dr.
We
Tanya.
really
thank you so much.
All right.
It's on the back of you, I work, and I dream, and I hope, and keep working, right? Thank you so much, all of you.
That's right.
Sorry, Damien.
We'll see you around LinkedIn.
Yes, definitely.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you for attending the 2350 Effect. If you are interested in becoming a guest or a sponsor, please contact Damien or Dr. Tanya. Join us every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the 2350 Effect.